I'm Teresa Matic with the Investing News Network. Here with me today is John Hykawy of Stormcrow Capital. John, thank you for joining me.
Oh, you're welcome, Teresa.
So we're about halfway through the year now. What have you seen so far in terms of performance of rare earth prices? Which are the best, which are the worst, and why?
This is not where I should start crying, right?
Oh.
Because I guess not. So far, frankly, the rare earth recovery that a lot of people have been hoping for hasn't been happening. We've seen lanthanum and cerium prices languishing. We've seen the magnet materials down. There are a number of reasons for that, not the least of which, though, is that a lot of the industrial consumers of rare earths, especially magnet materials, have been avoiding their use. And so you've seen a few things happening in the space, like General Motors announcing that the new Volt and Bolt drivetrains use dramatically less rare earth than the original Volt drivetrain did. All of those things conspiring to push down, continue to depress global demand and keep prices at a low level.
All right, and what have been the biggest surprises for you so far this year, if any?
Well, I think the fact that you've got companies like Chevrolet, like General Motors, actively coming out and saying we are de-emphasizing rare earth use. This persistent idea that somehow access to rare earths is very difficult. That's been a bit of a negative surprise. On the plus side, I'm starting to see a few companies that are doing some serious work with respect to doing what I had suggested a couple of years ago, which is ignoring the Chinese situation, ignoring what the current prices are, trying to figure out a way to reduce costs enough so that they become profitable in this environment.
Okay, so do you think that a recovery in rare earth prices is still possible, and what would need to happen for that to happen?
Exactly as the old marketing adage goes, that the cure for high prices is high prices, the cure for low prices is low prices. Unfortunately, it's generally sustained low prices. Now, we've had a few years of this since sort of 2012. 4 years obviously hasn't been enough. I think we're probably looking at least another couple of years of lower prices before these buyers start to come into the space with the mindset that they can get what they need when they need it, and that the market is sort of regularized again, that we're not going to see a sudden change in Chinese quotas again, for example.
Right. And you've also mentioned how you think that some of the juniors outside of China can succeed. Do you see any juniors sort of employing innovative strategies who might still be successful outside of China?
A few are actually. I mean, you've got one good example in Medallion Resources. Medallion has been a proponent, and they're not the only ones by any means, but Medallion has been a proponent over the years of, rather than going out and building a large mine with the expectation that the market is going to grow and take all of this material from you, why not process someone else's waste material to start? That eliminates the need to build a mine, it eliminates a substantial amount of capex, it eliminates the time to permit a new mine as well. And so they, amongst others, are examining taking, for example, heavy mineral sands tailings, which are rich in monazite, concentrating the monazite stream out of those, and then processing them in a chemical plant. The only thing they need to permit is the chemical plant. They have to worry about, obviously, especially with monazite, the disposal of thorium and uranium, but that's a manageable problem. That's a problem that we know how to solve. So they certainly have done a reasonable job in advancing that approach. The other side of the equation is how do you reduce the processing costs of rare earths? And there are companies like a privately held company, Rare Earth Salts, who have done a fairly significant amount of work on how to separate rare earths from one another using novel approaches, not the solvent extraction methodology that China uses, but something completely new. In doing that, there's a good chance that they could take and possibly cut the price of rare earth separation by a factor of 2 or 3.
Wow.
Yeah, significant.
Interesting. Okay, well, thank you for joining me, John.
Oh, you're welcome, Teresa.
I'm Teresa Matic with the Investing News Network.